So what's happening, Mr. Dwayne?
Not much. Just checking in with you, see what's going on your side.
Oh, I got cards.
And you're the man with the plan, so
Getting the cards, doing the yeah, getting the the pipeline. So I've got the redirect and the actual handler built for this, so it actually will send people to the review link and all that. And I've got the activation snapshot completely done and built. The next thing is just getting the sales side of it done. So I'm using a little bit of GPT, doing some customer avatar research, things like that, so I can come up with like a VSL script and everything. So I'm going to be recording a lot of stuff this week.
okay.
And getting a lot of the snapshot built. So ta-da, I got the I think I showed off the AI demo, the review demo last week.
Yes.
To everybody, kind of like the last thing. I'll show everybody again here, just because I know that we've got some people that only watch once in a while, but this is going to be part of our review system that lets us show people what our system will actually do for their business. Like, let's say if I want to look up a company, like let's go with the Pizza Hut down the street from me. Why is it looking for me in Indonesia? What is going on there? That is, that's odd. Like Google thinks I'm in Indonesia. This is very, very weird. I'm gonna have to check out that code and see what's going on. Last I checked, it wasn't in Indonesia. This is very, very strange. This is very weird. Why does it think I'm in Indonesia? Just a second here. Unless maybe
your VPN on?
Nah, I don't have a VPN going at all. No, that's weird. Wow. Yeah. So let me see in Indonesia here. So there you go. But we can do reviews on this stuff. I may have to check and see if anybody's logged into my Google account or something somewhere, and then log out of all the other places. But yeah, so this is basically what it does. It creates like the automatic AI review for people to see exactly what our system will do for their business. The idea is that they're going to look up their business, and then then they can see what is going on there. So,
and are you only doing 3 or are you doing 5?
Well, when you do the places, the places API, it only pulls back 5. And unless you do a much deeper integration with like a Google app and stuff like that,
correct.
It pulls back 5, and then I sort it by the most recent. I think pulling back 5 is probably a bit much. So, you plus every time you do one of those, that's a hit to your Pabbly and to your Chat GPT. So you don't want to do too many. And 3 is kind of like the odd magic number for options on sales and things like that. So yeah, it's typically what you're going to want to use for, your demos and things like that. So, yeah.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah. So what kind of wins you got this week?
This week's been very slow for me. So I'm working with a coffee shop, basically just do generic reviews for him. But he wants to do like a text messaging service, but he gets like 2,000 visitors. I mean, he's pretty busy.
That's a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, he showed me his database of what he has a tracking system now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like over 2,000. It's only a year old coffee shop. So
very nice.
So we got to get him activated on A2P.
Cool.
But waiting for cards to come in too still.
Oh, nice. So did you use a different design or? Yeah,
I made my own.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yeah. Custom logo, new website, new everything. So
yeah,
brand new.
That's the nice thing is that, those unique passwords and things like, or the unique slugs are going to be unique all the time. So.
Yeah. So basically it's watching everybody else's ads come up now because you've seen a couple.
Yeah.
So I'm bombarded with them. It's like, oh, they're everywhere now. They weren't nowhere.
Well,
now
but
they're everywhere.
They're not going to have the system that we have. And especially, I'm going to be adding the review, the nice updated review widget. So if people don't have one on their website, we can just create one in HighLevel and go, ta-da, here you go. There's a nice, beautiful, review widget that we can add as well. So we've got, the cards going to the review link. We've got AI review responses. We've got it posting to the socials. And then of course, you've got the review widget. And then for an upsell, we'll do, the high level snapshot that does the soft gating on the reviews as well. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Now, do you already have that planned out? How you're doing that?
Yep, I've got that's what I'm mapped. I've got it all kind of mapped out in a like a Word doc of exactly what they get and how I'm going to build it. And so I'm using that to come up with my VSL and my funnel. So they're going to initially sign up for the reviews and the AI reviews and everything else. They get all that, and then when they purchase, I'll do the order bump to get to the high level snapshot with the review gating, because from there it's a little bit of nurture to get missed call text back and then all these other things and go, hey, look at all the stuff that we can give you for X number of dollars, X amount per month. So
right.
All good. So
awesome.
100%.
And when do you think you're launching?
As soon as possible, within like a week or two.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. So that's as soon as I get all this, I got to get the sales page done. I got to get the pipeline done and all the nurture and get the product created and just basically build out the funnel. But for me, it's even with ChatGPT, like I hate doing copy. So, and even worse, I hate doing VSLs. So
yeah, I'm having a mental block myself.
Yeah. I just some days I'll just look at the Word doc and I'm just gonna sit there like YouTube looks good right about now, and I'll just boop.
Oh yeah, that's kind of where I've been for like the last week.
Yep, for sure. So how about you, Mr. Steve? What do you got going on this week?
Just finished some client work, but exactly where you were talking about is like, okay, shit, I got to get a VSL done. I got to get a slide deck done, and I'm having some serious blockage.
Yep, for sure.
Serious blockage, because it's like telling a story.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's like telling a story, and I'm like, what's the angle? What's the so? But yeah, it's exactly where I've been keeping myself busy with client work. Whoops, I lost you. Pat's frozen.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Pat's frozen. What's Ads App?
Basically, my company.
All right, and what's your focus?
Reviews. Yeah, it's a full circle. It does everything. So, but the basic 4 core on GHL. So,
so are you a student of Cooch, Mike Cooch?
I've listened to him, but not
okay.
Not a huge follower.
Okay, so what are your core offerings off of GHL?
Well, the reviews, the database reviews, the lead generation. So I do that lead generation.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're doing the database reactivation fee with that win back challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the core database itself.
Okay. And what do you sell your account for? Your high level account for? Sub account?
$495 is the basic where I bring everyone in at.
And you're getting that solid. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, not solid. I'm not huge, but that's where because I do a lot of effort helping them set up the account and everything.
Okay, so
it's more service based. Yeah.
All right, so you're doing service based, but light service.
Light service. I'm not a full SaaS, so
okay.
I take it a little bit further than that.
Okay. Hey, Alec, how are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good. So, Pat, you got your cards.
Yep. Cards.
And when you're going to do your VSL, I think that's what I just heard.
Yep. VSL, working on the VSL, working on the pipelines.
So is this the VSL to sell to the agency space, or the VSL to?
Well, what I'll do is I'll create the VSL script. I'm going to write my own VSL. Because I'm going to be in front of the camera doing the VSL. So if somebody else wants to record a VSL, then they can record that, along with the script. We're going to kind of provide basically everything, because this is going to roll into kind of our SaaS course type of stuff, like with all our snapshots, things like that, part of the affiliate program. So
Mhm.
you know, if people.
Oh, by the way, congratulations on your, ranking on September.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I didn't even know I did that. So
Hey, you
Yeah,
got your
top
rank. I
10.
mean, it's just like all the people that used to rank, they're ghosts. They're not even selling anymore. Like the Rob Baileys of the world, the
well,
the
he's
Queen.
dude, he's Rob Bailey's basically retired, and he's got I think he's got some kind of a rev share or something like that with high level anyway. So he doesn't have to work. That's why
Oh.
you don't see Christine Seal or anybody else, like a bunch of those guys.
I'm pretty sure Christine Seal is retired.
Yep.
She cashed in with the affiliate very early on. So
When you say she cashed in, is she one of the people?
yeah, like she's banking affiliate income, man. She was one of the first to make YouTube videos about high
Well,
level.
I realize that. I know I realize
Yeah.
that, but did she? So she's just living off her stream, or
Pretty
did she
much.
say?
That's what I feel.
Or
She's just. I mean, I see some new activity from her. I recently just saw something. So she's coming back, I guess. But yeah, I would say she's just retired because last I used to follow her was like 2 years ago, almost, I guess.
yeah.
She bought a farm and all that stuff, and all that. That's all I know about her. But the big thing is she's got Dominic under her, who's one of the topmost affiliates.
All right, so Dominic, who's at the top of the of the chart last month,
she's making 5% of what Dominic makes. Dominic makes almost 200K a month,
and she's making 5% of that. Plus, she has her own first line.
plus she has her own. Correct.
Wow.
Obviously, she's retired.
Yeah, and she's never really did an agency. She never sold SaaS directly. She really just was an affiliate.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
That's why this HighLevel's affiliate game is crazy. And because HighLevel is such a good software, it's good to promote that as an affiliate as well.
What do you think is the total number of accounts they have? I mean, I look at the group.
Thousands.
Well,
I heard was around 50K.
Including sub-users. That's all sub-users. Agencies and sub-users.
Agencies.
50,000 agencies?
I heard. Yes, sir.
So they get 50,000 agencies
on,
and so what their group, there's over 26,000 people in the group. And usually the group
almost
numbers
almost 50K, 48, 45, and 46K.
In the group?
Yes, sir.
I thought there was only like 26K in the group I saw.
It's exponential right now. It's crazy how fast they're growing.
Oh, no, I know. I think and you think there's a lot of room still in the affiliate side of this thing?
Here's my point. So there are still agencies who are using Google Sheets.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just had a client at meeting today which just got canceled, but that agency who I partnered with here, local Sydney, they don't even know what ClickFunnels is. Forget HighLevel.
Okay.
So there is a huge market out there, not only for your affiliate play, but also for partnering with them as your own SaaS.
Yeah, and I think that's where there's some room, but so globally there's over 50,000 agencies that are.
But here's the stat: there are 50,000 users who are directly paying HighLevel, but last I heard was more than 80% of those are not doing anything.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
They're just users. There would be more than 80% of those who are not doing anything, who are not actively selling their SaaS accounts and all that stuff. I mean, and again, they're not all SaaS users, not different plans, right? Obviously, there are different plans. I see anything Sean clap. So this is all the stats which I'm saying. I'm just quoting directly from what I've heard from Sean, Varun. I think Varun's interview is what I heard all these numbers. And Robin. So I follow them big time. Any interview, I pretty much have watched them. So they have a lot of users, but it totally depends on how active those are.
Okay, I started playing around with the social planner this past weekend, and I mean, and I love it, and because I was using it for one of my clients. Any news when we'll be able to do Facebook Reels and or YouTube Shorts or YouTube videos on the platform?
Facebook Reels should be coming soon. It's in the roadmap. Instagram Reels are there.
Yeah.
Already. YouTube Shorts is also in the roadmaps.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, that would be like, because as far as my agency play, that's where it's all at right now. It's focused on creating short form content and long form content through my podcast, and then I take those and I turn them into short form. And I would like, part of what I want to do is give them a 90-day account of my HighLevel, and with a big focus on using the social planner to syndicate their content.
Yeah, I've seen a few people who leverage social planner as a tripwire offer. Or, hey, just social planner for a few bucks here and there, and then they upsell on their SaaS. So there are many ways to play with that.
So how
social planner is a good lead.
How easy is it? Because I've only played with it like once or twice, and that was about a year ago, and it was pretty tough for me. It was a lot of work just to get like a couple things.
Oh no, it's easy. It's easy. It's right there with Hootsuite. I would say it's right there with Hootsuite or Public.
Okay. I'm using Social Bee right now, which is pretty cool. It allows you to regurgitate old stuff in case you don't.
You can recycle.
They started. You can do that now. It just went live last month or so.
Yeah, there's a limitation on how far you can go back and schedule your recycle, but it's recycling is.
It's getting there. I mean, there's a huge roadmap already. Like this social media planner is maintained by Pooja, which is one of the crazy. Like that team is on fire. The way they roll out things, like every team. So the latest interview I heard from, I think it was Robin. The way they structured that, the reason we're getting so many crazy updates is because they have product managers who are in charge of certain products, right?
Yep.
Now they've given all the control to the product managers. Like imagine that product manager is the CEO of that product. It's literally like a separate company. They have their own team and all that. So they have like 10, 15 product managers for different products. And all those people want to rank higher. Like they are competing against each other. Like, hey, our team will make the best possible update, or our team is doing. So they are all internally competing to give out the best possible solution, best possible updates and all that. So sometimes, and this is literally from Robin's mouth, right? I'm literally rephrasing it. You know, the Sean told me a few videos. Sean doesn't even know that this is a new update. He just sees it. Like so many updates, which Sean has just, made a video about. He doesn't even know that this product manager is onto something like this. It's that crazy. And this is just a trailer. Like they are expecting crazy amount of updates and level up, and then it's just going to grow even more. It's crazy how good the team is now.
No, they're so dialed in. I think ClickFunnels is in serious trouble. They don't think
it sure is.
Yeah,
they're in serious trouble if they don't think. I think GHL is coming for their lunch.
GHL's coming for everybody's
already
lunch.
There. Yeah.
Well, then
already
they're going after HubSpot. I mean, really, the only kid that's bigger on the block is Salesforce, and then who wants to pay for that?
Well, Salesforce actually really focuses on reporting and CRM stuff, right? They don't even do it. I mean, I would say HighLevel is really geared towards marketing and everything marketing and pretty much any kind of channel you can think of. Salesforce is really not that. Salesforce is really strong on the reporting side of things.
Right.
So I wouldn't say they're competing software. But from on the marketing side of things, they're just blowing it up. And when I got into playing with the planner this weekend, I was like, wow, this is decent. If we could just get it, we could just get a couple more things in here, like videos and syndicating to Facebook Reels and YouTube Shorts. That's the only thing I would ever use.
Yeah. Well, I think and with the bulk ads or the bulk posting, that I think they're going to allow you to, I think they might update the bulk post CSV where you can say repost after so many days. Cause when they did that, like, oh, we got this, you know, you can repost. And I said, what about the CSV? You know, we need a column for that. And Sean immediately tagged one of the devs with that. So we'll see if it gets updated. That would be a good update. Cause then you could literally create your packages for customers and just
verticals.
Say, we're going to,
all different
dentist, whatever. I literally have like, 180 days worth of posts. And
the person who did that the best was what actually wasn't even Atkins, it was Hershey. That's Hershey's. Okay. That's Jeff Hershey's platform. He just came up. Hershey's the one that developed that thing. And I finally let that product go because they weren't developing any new libraries. That was the main reason why I bought that, was because of the content libraries that were that, and they stopped doing that. And I said, well, there's no sense continuing. If you're not going to continue to work on libraries, I'll hire somebody else to build my own libraries and be done with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta have a decent, like, I checked on Fiverr to see like how much would it cost somebody to create a whole bunch of images and, actual relevant posts. And it's expensive.
Yeah. It's not conducive.
Yeah. For 180 days worth of content, that's, that's actually like good. Like, think about like a carpet cleaning company, like you got carpet cleaning tips and duct cleaning tips and how to get stains out and how to do, all this different, like, how do you come up with 180 days worth of content?
Actually,
I was going to say, you know what I do? I actually sell this product. It's a high dollar product. I started doing this for a couple of my clients. Is I just interview them. Sometimes I do it in person. Sometimes I do it virtually, but I just ask them long tail keywords, low back pain near me. Or tell me about sciatica, and so I interview them for about 30 minutes. You get 30-minute interview. Each question is a 2.5-minute question. Each 2.5-minute question goes into a blog post that I transcribe and interlink it with a 30-minute blog post. And then I take that 2.5-minute deal, which is 16 by 9, and I chop that up into 3, sometimes even 4 vertical reels, and then I caption the reels.
Woo.
And so then I have like 30.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing.
Yeah, it's a cool. I'll tell you what, man, this is the most work that I've ever done. That's a nice workflow. Yeah, I just hired a guy.
Yeah, well, you would have to if you get a lot of clients doing that, man, you'd be working all the time.
Yeah.
Well, no, I do the same thing. I run it. My approach is podcast. So I use the podcast as my long form, and I structure that podcast where there's 12 questions that are under a minute long. They're FAQ styles. And I then turn all of those FAQs into reels. And so
that's awesome. Yeah.
That's what I do. But I don't take them and turn them into print content, because they're generally, I like them short. So I just focus on the video aspect of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very nice.
And then I'm going to back end. That's why I was going to say what I plan on doing is back end them into HighLevel for the social planner. That's why I was asking on YouTube Reels, when is that coming? Because, I charge anywhere. What are you doing on the camera equipment? By the way, this is one of the things I've been having an issue with, is that they don't have adequate, because I do everything virtually. So I'm going to start sending them my camera, my microphone, and my light, which is all Elgato, for about $500. And I'm just going to add it to the top of my number.
Well, everybody's different, right? So if you give somebody an Elgato camera and you tell them to plug it in, half of the people they're not going to be able to figure that out.
Oh, no. So we have a pre-show.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So we do everything on a pre thing. So there's actually, setting them up, but I plan on charging $2,500 for this.
I charge $5,000.
Are you getting it?
Yeah. I've got 2 clients. Because here's the deal. The KPIs are not, there's nothing, there's no marketing there. I mean, there's no paid ad strategy. The KPIs, it's an SEO strategy. It's a long-term, this is going to be a year-long deal. And honestly, I think people are, I don't know. I'm just speaking for myself. I think people are burned out with paid ad strategy anyway. But the cool thing is when you can look at metrics and you can say, okay, you know what? This actually did perform pretty well. So let's put some money behind it. So that's kind of cool. But as far as video, if I'm in person, I'm a video guy, so I just use my gear. Sometimes I'll just use iPhones, or I'll use a little deal. But virtually, I'll do the same thing. If they have a good phone, I'll have them try their phone out on Riverside or something. If not, I do the same thing. I send them a Logitech, a Stream Cam or an Elgato.
That's this face cam for $150 is, I think, the best webcam there is on the market.
The problem though I have is audio, because audio is just suffers, and it's, well, if I'm sending it to somebody else. For me, my audio is great, right? But if I send it to a chiropractor,
that's why I give them a Wave 3. All my clients have a Wave 3 and an Elgato camera.
That's a good idea.
It's $300. Send them the Wave 3 and you send them the Elgato. It's $300. So add it to the top of your package, and they'll have very good microphone and a very good thing. And the great thing about Elgato is they have software for noise cancellation. And the one thing about this Elgato camera is that it doesn't autofocus, and you can go in the software and set the ISO fixed. So it doesn't adjust. Yeah. So it literally gives you your ISO numbers, and it gives you your white balance, and then you can hard code those and save it to the camera in real time. And hands down, for a webcam for $150, $130 sometimes, can't beat it.
That's cool. Very cool.
Hey, Charles, how are you?
What's going on?
Not a whole lot.
What wisdom can you share?
I'm digging the conversation.
Okay.
Well, audio.
Well, I'm looking at the microphone that you have. That's a $400 microphone that's in front of you.
It's worth every penny.
Yeah. So what's your camera? What do you use for a camera?
I have the Canon EOS R. Okay, so I run that into a cam link. Yeah.
The Elgato cam link.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get my plan is to get a couple ZVs, so I can have different angles, and then get a Magic, Black Magic.
Yeah, ATEM. Yeah,
ATEM Mini. Yep.
But you could probably,
because I use Ecamm for everything, so I don't need the.
Why don't you get a
Pro
Stream
Plus?
Why don't you get a Stream Deck and run it through?
I do have a Stream Deck,
and run it through OBS for your changing of your angles.
Yeah, but the difference is that you're putting more on software.
True.
So the whole benefit of having Black Magic is that you're offloading a lot of that work to true hardware that's dedicated for that. So your cuts are a lot cleaner. You don't have to worry about anything operationally wise affecting your camera feed. The only downside is only 1080, but honestly, nobody views anything higher than 1080 anyways. So
that's why I use this Elgato face cam. I think 4K is too much, and especially if you're doing streaming, you're trying to push that up. If you don't have I only have 10 megs up, so I do everything. What are you doing for virtual meetings, Tim?
Well, that's a really good question. So I tried using bunch of different things, and a lot of them failed. So I used Riverside. I could not get to work with a phone because for whatever reason, my one of my guys' phones automatically selected the wide angle phone for whatever reason, and so that was not useful. I tried using Riverside, but actually, to be honest, Riverside, the quality wasn't as great as I had hoped. So I ended up using, for the last couple of virtuals, I ended up using iris.fm.
Try Talk Labs.
Say it again.
Talk Labs. It used to be Melon Apps, and who bought them? I want to give me a sec. Let me open it up.
I also tried using whoever Descript is bought out.
Yeah, I don't like. I love Descript for video editing. That's what I use for my second round of post production is Descript. So give me a sec. So it was bought out by Streamlabs. Streamlabs bought Melon, and they've now have it's called Talk Studios.
Okay,
that's what I use. And the reason the thing that I like about it is it allows me to, when I'm doing my podcast, I'm on one side, the other side. I can put a background. I can put an intro, an outro. And so when I record, I don't go live. When I do my podcast from start to finish, my long form is done. All I have to do is open it up and take a little bit out in the front and the back. And as far as my long form, it's good. It gives me a single track. So when I'm doing all the reels for them, I'm able to just use their track, and I'm able to cut it up real quick. So my workflow is from start to finish is probably about 5 hours of work, which is, not too bad. Which I won't, if I get this thing going, I want to offload it to someone who can just do post production.
Yeah, dude, I gotta tell you, man, that whole process that I told you, it's about 2 full days for me.
Oh no, that's why I don't even want. I mean,
yeah, and those are long days.
Are you familiar with ZimWriter?
No.
ZimWriter is really good for AI writer. Check out ZimWriter. It writes content. I'm using it to create my newsletter content for my verticals.
Okay.
So when they get a package, they'll have 52 weeks of done for you content that's all been written by ZimWriter.
Nice.
So
I'll check it out. But yeah, that's good.
Yeah, if you want to see the video production, I just put one up on yesterday. So if you go to my personal profile, you'll see the last real estate interview I just did. And I'll drop a sample of the reels that I did to you too.
Cool. Definitely check that out.
Go ahead, Pat.
I had a quick thought about what Tim's process, getting the long tail keywords. Like you could actually do the long tail keywords. And if you weren't going exclusive to that client, doing those videos, you could take those long tail keywords and then have ChatGPT write a quick post for that. And then have somebody create a quick graphic in Canva for it with that, that.
So, and actually, so that's kind of what I'm doing. Honestly, it's well, you're doing it exclusive to, like, let's say you're doing it exclusive to Steven and his brand, and he's on the video. Whereas I'm talking like I'm creating a general, very general package, and I create those graphics, and then I go to Steve and Dwayne and Alok and go, hey guys, I know you're all chiropractors. I have this social posting system that does 180 days worth of general posting, and I'm going to sell it all to you for $197 a month. I love that. That's so cool.
And then that way, like you're doing the high production, high dollar work, more high ticket. And I'm going like shotgun effect. Let's go for lower ticket, more clients.
All right, guys.
That's really cool.
So I'm dropping in the group the last interview I did. That's the long form interview.
Tim, do you use Adobe?
Yeah, I do. I do. I use all the
Illustrator
Adobe
or anything.
Yeah, all that stuff. Mm-hmm.
Well, I was gonna say, to like years. Pat's point is, you could set it up to where that would be a pretty much automated process. Like, hey, just send me your logo, drop it into a macro in Illustrator, and done.
Yeah,
that way you know that they're all
nice.
High quality images. There's not going to be any down resolution. It'll, you can batch it that way, make it super quick, and you just build your layout in Illustrator. And then you could even have it do keywords. So change out their business names. You can do it all through macros within Illustrator. So once it would take some time to set up, even to the point where it may be even worthwhile to outsource that. Like, hey, this is what I want, but I need this name to be changed. It's going to be the last line. That way you don't have to worry about spacing in case one name's slightly longer.
For clarification, you're talking about creating social posts, images, right?
Social post images in Illustrator. And so you just create this board of posts in Illustrator in one file. But you end up laying it out to where it's all blocks.
Yes,
so
and
you would have a text block, you would have a logo block, and you could even, throw in other elements if you wanted to, but just those two have one text block. That way you could dynamically put in a city name or a business name, whatever was appropriate for that post, and then you could hot swap their logo. So basically what happens is you just drop the logo into the macro and that whole board is updated, and now you can just export the whole board as individual SVG files, and you're done. I mean, you're working something else while Illustrator's sitting there processing, 300-400 social posts, and all you had to do is build a macro that says, hey, anywhere this frame is found, I want to fill that frame with this image, and that's it.
So then the next question is now you go to video. What do you got to do to go to video to basically create your I mean, it would be very easy to create.
So you can actually
11
I'm sorry,
labs.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say you create 11 labs, scripts or Speechify or in any one of the AI voice deals. So you take your script for your posts, and you take your social posts, but you also create all the shorts that you need as well for YouTube and everything else. And do the same with the logo and all that. And you can do faceless videos.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah,
sounds like a lot of heavy lifting up front.
We'll knock that out this week. We'll have a snapshot out by Friday.
Well, there's a graphic artist that I work with, and that's how she does everything. Because she runs an e-commerce, she runs 3 clothing lines. And so like she has on Etsy and Shopify, and so she uses the same images every time, but she has to drop her, she has to create 10 mock-ups plus, for each platform. And so she just created them all in Illustrator. So that way she just makes her design, drops in Illustrator, boom, done. Otherwise it'd take her forever. And that way she never has to worry about placement, nothing. It's already preset. She just drops her design. It places it right where it should be on the mock-up. And in a matter of minutes, it's done.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I do something similar with Premiere when I have to do repetitive stuff, because it gives you the ability to.
It's the same process. Yeah, that's the one thing about Adobe is if you learn how to do stuff like that in one program, it usually transfers to another.
Sure.
It's just might be in a little different place, but it's definitely a time saver once you have it set up, especially if you're doing a lot of batching. If you're doing 300 plus items that are basically need all the same changes,
that's cool. That would take man, I'd be if somebody wants to go in with me, that'd be a fun project. But nobody's raising their hands.
Well, I use social
maybe
rotation.
I mean, I'd be kind of somewhat interested in automating something like that, especially if you could come up with, again, it's all down to outsourcing and finding somebody who can create all the verticals that we need. Because once you have your process down, it's really not much to change it over to, like, hey, ChatGPT, here's all the long tail keywords for auto mechanic. Here's all the long tail keywords for Cairo or dentist or roofing or any one of the other big niches, and like generate 180 posts, like quick, social posts that I can use. And it spits it out. So you have that prompt. Cool. You drop in the CSV file into the developer module of GPT, and it'll spit out a CSV file for you to download. You offload that to somebody to create some graphics for it in Canva. And once then you can basically create your template in Canva where you do drop in the logo and everything, because you could do the same thing like what Charles is talking about with Illustrator. Hell, you could do it in Canva in their bulk. If you've got Canva Pro, they've got a bulk method as well.
They do?
Oh yeah, dude. You can upload a CSV and it'll generate. It's probably not as good as Illustrator macros, but you can still do a lot of cool stuff in Canva's bulk system.
I'm going to say this last thing about Canva. Don't sit on Canva. It's becoming like an unreal tool for anything.
Yeah,
like the new updates about magic morph and all that stuff, which just come in like 2 days ago. It's mind blowing. Don't sit on Canva. It's crazy good.
You know, it's
no,
funny. I just charged somebody $500 to do a couple of thumbnails for some videos that I'm working on. And I literally go and I jump into Canva, and it doesn't even take me 2 minutes to come up with something.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Like the worst thing was sitting through my wife taking pictures of me doing stupid, pointy things and, the stuff like that. And then all I had to do is I took the photos, opened up Photoshop, dropped them all in, said, remove the background. It went poof. Then I saved it and, I trimmed it and saved it. And then I dumped all of them into Canva, into the upload section. And I have a template and I just drag the photo I want, do a couple of quick drop, edit the text, and it's done. I got a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. I do all my long-term stuff in Adobe. Like if it's like logos, stuff like that, I do all that in Adobe. I won't get out of I stay in Illustrator for just about everything. But anything quick, thumbnails, stuff like that, where I'm going to be changing text to God knows what. It's just a simple layout. I'll do that in Canva. All the quick stuff, easy stuff, non-crucial, non-long-term, I guess.
Not the only thing I use Adobe or Illustrator for is like designs for my laser cutter.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
it takes getting used to. Yeah. Once you get used to it, I mean, it's
all right.
It's
A lot
nice,
checking out.
See you a lot.
You guys.
Better, man. So Tim, you jumped on. What besides all the crazy video stuff, what do you got going on that you're doing? Wins this week?
That's a good question. Actually, I think I have a loss this week, but I don't know what's going to happen. I have a chiropractor, the one that I was just talking about. I sold him on the system. My monthly recurring, basically I did a DVR for a chiropractor. I'm going to try to really shorten this. Did a DVR for chiropractor, brought in a lot of people. He had a brand new doctor come into his place. Didn't have his own people. So brought in like 100 appointments, and it was great, but they didn't have a system in place, unfortunately. So that kind of was a waste.
You did DVR without a system? Like what? Well,
you know what? It was, trust me, it was like, so they're like, okay, we're ready for the next thing. Yeah. And I said, okay, well, the first thing is you got to fix your system, right? Otherwise we can't do anything that has anything to do with money.
Get out your checkbook.
And I did a lot of research. Chiro is not my niche, right? But I talked to a bunch of my friends who did it, and they basically gave me the numbers. Look, if you can't, and I'll tell you, the numbers are basically it's between $800 and $1,000 over a year. If you can't have that much LTV in that one client, don't advertise, because it's just not worth it.
Right.
And so if they don't have a system to bring people back, it's not. Anyways, so when I brought that up to the owner, who was an investor, I said, look, you need to fix your system. And I said it in a nice way. He said, you know what? I don't want to do that. Here's what I do want. I want my guy to be known everywhere. And I said, I can do that, but here's what it's going to cost you. And it was a year long. And so, he agreed.
5K a month. You got 5K a month?
No, that was 2K a month. That was before I really thought about it. So, that was 2K a month. And, so fast forward, I'm into it about 3 months, worked out a bunch of junk, hired my first guy, and the chiro that he had working with him left and took all of his clients with him.
Oh man.
And so now my guy's kind of hemorrhaging and they're freaking out. And so, anyways, I'm kind of trying to figure out what to do with this guy. So, I might, I don't want to have, I am not an ads expert. I could dabble, but I don't want to do that. It's not my thing. I'd rather have somebody else do that and either white label it or just hand them over. But, they're already spending 2K a month with me. And so I just kind of put them on hold. I said, okay, let's hold on until we're ready to talk. So
does he have a chiropractor in there? Or does he not?
It's like a giant office. They do ER stuff. So the office is working, but he doesn't have any chiropractic clients. I mean, my chiro, he sees maybe 1 or 2 people a day right now. It's been that way for the last couple of weeks. And so that's not sustainable. So
what state is he in?
Texas. Yeah.
I know there's a lot in the West Coast. There is a lot of going on with anything PT related. Like the market's just all over the place. Companies being bought and sold, up and leaving. Like it's just absolutely nuts.
Well, what do you guys think? I keep since I'm
physical therapy related.
Since that's my thing right now, and that's everything I'm doing searching on. Those are the ads that I'm getting. So I keep getting ads from some of these smaller. I'm not going to say smaller agencies because I'm sure they do well for themselves, but the amount they're charging is like crazy, like $400 a month and it's a turnkey system.
Those guys are either they're doing something very basic, or they're doing a lot of outsourcing on stuff. I've chatted with some clients that are like, oh yeah, I'm doing some SEO. I got some agency out of India and they're only charging like $250 a month. I'm like, how's that been working? Are you showing up? Like, well,
yeah,
no. I'm like, so it's worth it, right? Totally worth it. I'm like, oh yeah. The guy's really good. Really good. I was like, wait. You just told me. So, I think it's just a matter of being able to show that value and, and kind of, if you poke and prod with the questions, if it is somebody that's using like, oh, I'm using this guy at $300 a month, like bringing them to the realization that it's not actually working. They're just burning $300 a month for a couple of, clients here and there.
Yeah. I talked to the doc and he said, I can fix that sales process. I can fix that. It would be messy, but I can fix that. So, it's just getting people in the door. I mean, they're clueless. He literally asked me, hey, can we take our $2,000 and just use it for Google? And I'm like, it doesn't really work that way.
Well, first of all, there's no real search volume for chiropractors.
No, I know. And honestly, I did look that up, and you can do local service ads for chiro it ends up being about $200 or $300 each. But it's, again, you're right. There's no search volume for.
No. I have chiro for clients, and where they're having success is they're moved away from general chiropractic care and trying to sell packages, and then where we're having success is shockwave therapy. They've made the investment into shockwave therapy, which is a $40,000 piece of machinery. But the shockwave ads are really producing well. And the LTV for the client minimally is about $700 per area. So when you're selling a care plan that's anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 and it's chiropractic care, a lot of people are very apprehensive of chiro. Personally, I went to a chiro all summer, swear by him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think where I'm focusing on is with chiros. When I'm looking at my avatar for the chiro, they need to have either a spinal decompression and or doing shockwave therapy. If they're not doing that, I don't even want to talk to them. Because trying to produce for them for plain vanilla chiropractic care, it's getting tougher and tougher. Especially if they're in a highly competitive market. In Texas and Florida, if there's one chiropractor in the market, there's 40 of them right behind them.
Right.
Oh man, you can't swing a dead cat in here in Kansas City and hit a chiro. There's like 4 or 5 in the same building.
It's tough.
Well, I know they definitely have a decompression table. They don't use it very often, but because my chiropractor is an old school chiropractor, he uses it if it's necessary. But
shockwave is the new gizmo in the market, and the stuff works. Shockwave therapy is protocol is usually 6 treatments. And what it does is it uses acoustic to create some really fine, wounds, if you would, and it gets the body to release its own stem cells to do the repair. So it's pretty
Cool.
really effective. I'm trying to get my guy to get a nurse practitioner and start doing PRP.
He does that.
And I think he's going down. He does PRP?
Yeah.
He's got a nurse practitioner
Yeah.
that's doing PRP. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually I could probably advertise for that now that I think about it.
You gotta be careful with PRP. PRP can have it's hard sometimes to get advertisement for PRP going. Especially in Google.
Okay.
Anything stem cell related, you got to be kind of like, if you use, when I was trying to get ads running for a Canadian client that does PRP and shockwave.
So just so I'm clear, PRP is the platelet thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
But if they go and read the site and it says anything about regenerative medicine or stem cells, ads will get disapproved.
Gotcha.
So you're better on Facebook, you're better to drive into probably a lead form and stay away from regenerative medicine and the terms associated around stem cells.
That's awesome. Yeah, cool. That's cool. That's great. Yep. Great info.
Juan, you've been quiet.
I'm just waiting my turn is all.
Dude, you got to take your turn. Everybody's going to keep talking.
All right. Oh, you can see me. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I was trying to find out is how to make it so that the AI booking bot that you created,
yep.
Trying to figure out how to make it so that we can automatically follow up with anybody who's already engaged with it, and basically make it so that we can follow up with that, have that happen, every 24 hours, or
I'd manage it through tags.
Through tags?
Yeah, through tags. And so that way, if you've already engaged, you gave them a booking link or something like that, once you've done that, you could actually tell it, to really with ChatGPT and everything else, there's really no way to just automatically add a tag or do something like that, unless you trigger, or tell the bot to use a very, very specific phrase for, yes, they're qualified to book an appointment or something, right? And then you can have it say, if it comes back with this, then you can add the tag. And he's gone into space. So you could have it add a tag based off of does the ChatGPT response contain this exact phrase? And if it does, then you could basically say add a tag that they've been qualified and ready to go. So then in the other workflows, you could say, before you start processing all the other stuff, you could say, do they have this tag? Okay, if they do, go this way. And then you could go and do a different workflow to engage with them.
So
and with that, you could even use an entirely different prompt that doesn't qualify them. It just nudges them to keep booking.
Okay.
A little bit more complex, but entirely doable with what we've already got built.
Yeah. No, and I had a feeling it was going to be tags.
Yeah,
I just wasn't sure
for everything.
I just wasn't sure where to, because I was already trying to do it, but I didn't want to like mess it up. I just wasn't sure like.
Yeah. So in the prompt, like, well, just back up the prompt that you're using, and then mess.
Oh,
around.
no. I was saying in the workflow.
Oh,
I wasn't sure where to add the, like, at what point should I add the, like, if they did something, add the tag.
Yeah. So if the bot does all the qualifying questions and then says, great, it looks like, here's the booking link. Most of the time it's kind of like, if it's qualified, or if the customer is qualified, it sends them the link, right? But it just kind of says, well, it sounds like you're qualified, or it comes up with some kind of phrase. You would have to you'd have to update the prompt to say, like, if they're qualified, use this phrase. It looks like you're, great. It looks like you're fit for an appointment, or, some kind of exact phrase. And then when right before it sends the message, you just say like, you check the response, say, does it contain this phrase? If it contains,
Well,
that
I was
exact
thinking
phrase, that's
something
what you
else. I was thinking something else instead of it being like that technical. I was wondering if I could just have it a condition somewhere where it was like, okay, it engaged with this lead, but they have not booked an appointment yet. So
yeah.
if
So
they
what you could do is, yeah. So with that, well, you still want to say like, actually, what the exact phrase would be like, does the response contain the booking link? And if the response contains the booking link, then you could tag it, say qualified, link sent, or something like that, right? And then you have a workflow that says, when I add that tag, start my follow-up. And your follow-up would be like a day later. It'd have a wait step and say, did they book? If they didn't book, send them this message, the day later. And if they do book, you just remove them from that follow-up. There's a lot of like a few extra moving pieces, but
no. But now I'm following you though. Now I got you. Now I got you.
It's kind of like abandoned cart. Like I opt in the order form, I go into that workflow. But if I purchase, you just remove me from that old workflow.
Yep. No, now I'm following you there. With that last one that you just said. All right. I'm just gonna wait for this recording to go back, and then I'll go back and try and build it.
Cool.
Thanks.
Cool. How many people you got signed up on bots and stuff?
We just got an agency onto it. So they're kind of like so we just got an agency onto it. So 1, 2, we set one up for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on that right now. So hold on, let me just think. Or I can just pull up my clients really quick. I want to say like 2 or 3.
Nice.
I'm not sure. Hold on. I can just pull up my client list really quick.
Hey, Charles, what's your thought on what they've just released on the conversations AI side of things? As far as
works great for me.
That's what I'm saying. Here's my thinking is like, I think we're all we're wanting a really good AI for booking and conversations and that. And I'm just don't want to go down the rabbit hole and create something in a workflow or with some third party just to see 2 months from now, this thing's going to be totally dialed in.
Well, so here's my answer to, without picking sides. This is my answer to this. And for everybody, this is going to be different. It comes down to implementation and execution.
Mm-hmm.
That's what whatever decision you make, that's what you need to be focused on. Not which technology is better, not which one does a little bit better at booking a calendar, or blah, blah, blah. That's noise. You need to look at how do you plan on implementing it and executing it with your clients.
Yep. I can speak on that.
So that's what you have to look at. So for me, you guys know I don't do work. Okay, I am pure SaaS.
His model is definitely different.
I am as stupid simple as possible. So from my standpoint, where I have support, I have onboarding, I have, training documents, guides, and everything. I have to think about, okay, if I implement a third-party platform, regardless of what it's built on, will the support team be able to support it? Will the onboarding team be able to set it up? And is there already documentation that's white labeled that I can include with my current documentation?
You've answered my question.
So that's why I went with HighLevel personally, because of the way my business is structured. I'm not saying it's a better product. I'm saying from an implementation and point from my business model, I know that my white label support team will be trained on HighLevel features without a doubt. I don't know that they'll be even taking, let's just take the 2 top competitors in the market. Mm-hmm. Okay. ZappyChat and what's the other one? Capri. Okay. So now I know that my white label support is not going to get trained on ZappyChat. Mm-hmm. I know that. It's a competitor. Okay, so let's say I went with Capri. I know they're going to get trained on it at some point because Capri is integrating with ChatHQ, and ChatHQ is embedded with Extendly. So I know at some point down the road, that's probably going to come into fruition. But then I remember one thing I learned in grade school: history repeats itself. What happened when OpenAI first came out? The HL group was blowing up with everybody and their mother had a content widget to put into your HighLevel as a white label tool. And then about 2 months later, they all shut up because HighLevel came out with it natively, and now there was no more need for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, glad I didn't spend a heck of a lot of time on that. You know, so that's how I go about making this. It's not, oh, I'm against this, or I don't like that implementation. They're all good products. They all solve a problem. You just have to, the advantage of a third party, you have more control over it. Now, there are mumblings and groanings that there is going to be a whole lot more control over the one that's native than what most people think. But it's probably going to be far down the line because they're going to get it as close as they can to the field goal before they open it up, which makes sense. That's totally practical. Can't fault them for that. But I just tell people, look at your own business, look at how you plan to implement and execute and what you expect your customers to be able to do or not do, and find the one that fits best in your business model, because they all solve a problem.
Well, I think again, I want to build a full SaaS and follow your path there. And I think you've answered the question. If Extendly can't handle the support of custom workflows, if you say it's completely just built inside of HighLevel, just with a custom workflow with an API connection, and going outside of it, I'm with you. I feel HighLevel is very much committed to.
But at that same point, you can always hire a VA. So it doesn't just stop at that. Okay. So, and this is where you have to back up to your initial business model. My initial business model was to keep everything as stupid simple as possible.
Yeah.
To where it was out of the box. You sign up, it's done. I don't have to think about it, talk about it, nothing. You are on your path to success as soon as you hit that sign up form.
Can I just add 2 cents on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have to hop off. So that's why I just said it totally depends. What you just said, Charles, it's 100% is a business model, Stephen. You have to figure out what exactly your role is and what business model you want to operate in. With the software we have, it's like there is like so many different angles you can take. We have to choose one angle and then only then just bring in tools or solutions which align with your business model, because you can do it 100 different ways, especially the new features which we're coming up with on that.
I realize that. I've been playing with HighLevel for 2.5 years. I've built custom things, charge clients $50K to do stuff on HighLevel.
Well, I think his point is like, and what I was fixing to get to is like, I'm on a SaaS. If you're on a SWAS, okay. I don't want to be on a SWAS. Yeah.
I want to be on a SaaS. And so you've answered my question.
Yeah.
My question is, I'm going to wait till it's natively in the system before I bring it to the clients, because all the noise I'm seeing out there is like HighLevel is going to come and eat your lunch in a minute. And the one thing I can see that they need to do in the conversation is they got to give us the ability to do a custom prompt. And the minute they give us the ability to do a custom prompt, done.
Well, that and be able to turn it off with a tag or some other way, because I think that's the one thing I've seen in the groups is people like, we got salespeople that are trying to jump in and this thing keeps walking all over everybody. It's like, well, you got to figure out, you can turn it off.
The only way you can do it is disable. It's like put on you got to put it to sleep in the conversation tab.
In the conversation tab, you can put it to sleep. You just can't do it from mobile, which they've already said they're going to address the mobile application that is coming.
That almost like the mobile thing almost needs like a big fat pause button on the bottom, like, you know.
And honestly, the easy solution to that is where people are really running into problems is they are setting their engagement time too short. Right. So they're saying, hey, in 10 seconds, I want the AI to generate a response. Well, I'm sorry. If you get pinged and you see someone just sent you a message, there is no flipping way, I don't care what computer you have, that you can get to your desk, open up your browser, get to that conversation in less than 10 seconds. It ain't going to happen.
This guy. No.
It's not going to happen. You're going to miss it. And as soon as you miss it, that message has already gone off. And you can snooze it and say, hey, sorry about that. My AI was acting a little crazy, and it's usually fine. most of the complaints you see in the high level group, honestly, they are lazy salespeople that like to whine. That's all it is.
Oh yeah.
I listened to it for over 2 decades.
There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise.
That's all it is. But keep in mind, I mean, the other thing to think about is high level builds the same way every single time. Skateboard, bicycle, Ferrari. They do. They're still in the skateboard phase. They haven't even hit the bicycle yet.
Yeah.
And look at what they've already done with conversation AI. And they're also, they're doing this at a time where they launch more updates than any other time of the year. And yes, there's several bugs going around right now. It's because they're trying to develop this stuff, put it live without showing it. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the system right now. And it will be the system's going to act wonky for the next 2 weeks. Get over it. Do you want about 50 features dropped in 2 weeks? Okay, then deal with the bugs because that's what's happening, but when it comes, even using a third-party chat, it may still fit into your business model. If you're doing even a lightweight SWAS model, software with a service, even if you're just doing a little bit, okay, let's say you're using Upex and you just need to, customize a few ad templates to where they can click and launch them. That's SWAS. That is not SaaS. Okay. Upex is not SaaS. I don't care what anybody says. It is not a SaaS model. It is a SWAS model because you still have to get involved. Okay. So you hire a VA to take care of that. Well, what can they do in their other time that you have them? Maybe they can set up your chatbot. Maybe they can configure a custom workflow. So even though, it may be close to SaaS, you may not be able to go to a white label support team to have them do this, but you could train an independent VA that you just pay, $10, $12 an hour for 40 hours a month, if that's what you need. May not even need that much. And then there's companies out there like Level 9 that you can get a pod, and as long as you can give them an SOP, they'll pretty well do anything that you want them to do, as long as you have a cut and dry SOP. So there's
that?
Level 9 Virtual. They're a VA company. So they have pods and then dedicated VAs as well. But you just have to, the biggest mistake I see most high levelers make is they never build a business plan and actually stick to it. And yeah, you're not going to get rich quick. Yes, maybe 1% of you will get rich quick. Congratulations. But it's going to be a 2 to 3 year journey to where you can sit there and say that, yes, I am making cleanly running a business and making 6-7 figures a year. It's going to be 2 to 3 years. It's no different than any other business. Sure, you can listen to the noise and try to believe that you're going to be part of that 1%. Don't look at it. I'd never looked at it this way. I said, in 5 to 6 years, when my kid is old enough to take over the business, I want to be able to hand him 20 to 30% of my company and him live comfortably. And then me semi-retire. That's what I want. That's why I'm building a SaaS model, because it's the better I build that SaaS model and structure, the easier it is for him to come in at 18 to 19, having little to no knowledge of how to run a business. But since it basically runs itself, he can learn over time and still have a healthy income at 20 to 30% of the business. And then when my other kid comes, he can get 20 or 30%. However, I choose to divvy it up at that time. That's my game plan. That's what I came into this thinking. In 5 to 6 years, this is what I want to be able to achieve. I want over 1,000 SaaS customers, monthly recurring. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's doable.
It is.
The other thing on that
You know?
chat box, it depends on your volume too, because the costs where HighLevel charges.
No. Don't pay any attention to that. Yes, it is 5 cents a message right now. If you mark it up 1.5 times, it's 7.25 cents to your customer. As soon as Level Up hits, or right after Level Up, they will be releasing the $49 per sub account pricing. They've already announced it in the group a million times. But yes, it'll be $49 flat per sub account, unlimited messages.
Sweet.
Because they don't
That's
use
cool.
OpenAI. Just FYI, it is not built off of OpenAI.
Oh, they don't?
No, not at all.
Who are they using? Who's the
They
main
use their own software and they use other databases. They are not using OpenAI. So they HighLevel built their own integrations and software particularly for this. In particular, because this is going a lot further than conversation AI. Conversation AI is just the very beginning.
Well, where's it going?
Funnels, websites, social media, like full content packages. All that's coming down the pipeline. You will have an AI funnel builder, AI website builder in HighLevel.
Look at all the pages that you fed it, Charles. Like they've got to store that. They've got to scrape it and store that data someplace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
They're building a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, they try not to integrate. They try to build natively if they can, because in the long term, they know it's going to keep growing in that direction, especially in AI. So why would they partner with another system that may or may not even exist 2 years from now? You know, OpenAI isn't, yes, it's great technology, but they've got their own problems.
Oh yeah.
From a business standpoint, they're broke. They don't have any money. It's been that way. It's not to say that it won't change, but that's why HighLevel built their own integrations and own systems. And also because they're bringing a lot more. They're going to be bringing out voice AI. HighLevel's developing their own voice AI. It's all coming. It's pretty wild.
Stay with it. Stick with it, boys. It's coming.
Wait, they're developing their own voice AI, kind of like 11 Labs.
Get in now. Get in now.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I think
it's all coming.
Get in now. That's part of the. Honestly, that's part of the reason why I started offering things where literally it's like, oh yeah, we're using AI with this. So it's like, you know what I mean? So I can be one of those first people, at least with the people that I'm acquainted with. So then, you know what I mean?
And when I was using the social planner this weekend for doing my clients' work, so I was putting some reels up, some videos up to Facebook, and I was using the built-in AI to write a short caption for the videos. I was like, this is sweet. It was just like creating content, and I didn't realize they were working on a voice AI, and I didn't realize they were not connecting to OpenAI, that they actually create their own language model. They've developed their own language model. Is that what I heard you say, Charles?
So yes, that they're using multiple structures to process the conversation. Because they already had some of this. They've had some of this for years.
Okay.
I
Google
think,
Bart. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think that the ends just don't justify the means. It's just my personal, I think it's going to get way out of control. And every website you're going to go to, you're going to just say, oh, this is done with AI. And you can just look at it. That's what I think. I know that's maybe a little prudish, but, I know you can ask for whatever tone, whatever prompt you want, but still, I still think it's going to get pretty watered down in the upcoming years in general.
I think it'll be like the 90s
people who
again.
Don't really make it that far. Is all.
I think it will look like the 90s again. When
always...
every freaking company had the same freaking website, just colored, like it was all, no border framed websites solid bars all throughout the website. You know, they're horrible. But guess what? Everybody was fine with it.
They're paying for it. That's what I'm saying. Who cares? Like,
well, it was just a culture thing. You know, and I think it's going back to that. You know, where I think this, and it's unfortunate in many ways because you're going to have, you know, designers and artists that are like, I'm basically losing my job because nobody even appreciates this even more. And it's where we're in
my partner's a designer
right now, you know, environment. Everybody wants everything right now. Yeah. They don't want to pay someone that is phenomenal at doing websites, pay him 10 grand, which is a more than reasonable fee. It's actually pretty cheap to have a full-blown website built and designed for them and have an actual piece of art on the web. They're like, I can pay that, and wait 3 months for this thing to get developed, or I can sign up for this piece of software, throw it some information, and for $500 get it done in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
we're in a right now society. And so it's just
going to keep getting
reverting back. But I mean, in many ways, I do agree with you, Tim. It's just, it's interesting because I've seen the evolution, you know, several of us on this call have seen the evolution of it.
Sure.
From the very start. And it's interesting to see kind of how, it seems new, but also looks like we're headed back to a day and age that we remember not too long ago, in some regards. Right. It's,
I guess what I'm thinking of is the end user. We are, and this is a little, you know, in the big picture stuff, but we're educating people about AI in general, all over the globe, right?
Yep.
And so now that we're educating people about AI, and I think I just heard somewhere there's, I don't know, I don't know if where I saw this, or maybe my wife told me that there's some act somewhere that's going to ask you to require, or is requiring to let user know that, hey, this has been processed by AI, which doesn't matter. You can't, I mean,
okay.
What is that? Whatever that means. But the point is, the point is that everybody knows about it. Everybody's familiar with it, right? So the more familiar people become with it, the more watered down it becomes in general. So the end user is going to be able to go to a website and like, okay, I'm not going to base my decision on the content anymore. I'm just going to keep moving because it's the same content I always see. It's the same, it's just twisted different.
Well, and I think, I mean, that's another reason why I went the SaaS route, is because it's going to get to a point where it's like, okay, why the hell would I pay you $5,000 a month?
Yep.
You're using the same tools I have access to. Like there's like, this is so much in the market. Like, what's your secret sauce? You get a good VA. I don't know. What am I actually paying $5,000 for? Because I could go to this site and they could do the same damn thing that I'm paying you $5,000 for. That's one of the big reasons why I didn't go with SWAS, because I've seen over, working in corporate, working with some of the largest brands and vendors in the country, all their numbers do one thing. They trend down every single year. Every year. They're worse than the previous. They have to find something new to offer every year because their numbers keep going down. Whether it's websites are stupid cheap, SEO stupid cheap. You've got top vendors out there that, are, I mean, you can trade stock in them and they're selling SEO for $500 a month. And it's out of the box SEO because they know at scale, nobody gives a flying flip about SEO. Nobody does.
Yeah.
No business that knows anything cares about SEO. They just don't. It is a long play. It'll never drive huge results unless you are in it for the long haul.
Yep.
We're talking 5+ years of solid strategic moves. Or they could take that $3,000 that they're going to pay you for custom developed SEO and page structure and make sure schemas on every single page and doing all these localized pages for each product and all this craziness, and drop it into a little bit of advertising. Doesn't even matter if it's good advertising. It's a frequency play.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's
I've seen
faster.
it happen over and over and over again. That's why all your big vendors, Cox Automotive, huge. They are the godfather of automotive vendors. $500 a month. You get 5 local citation pages every month. Every month. Pick your vehicles. You get 5 this month.
I think agencies
Who can compete with that? Nobody can compete with that. But nobody values it.
Agency's dead in 24 months.
It's just, that's why I picked SaaS, because nobody's going to pay for that. You know, as like you said, think about when Dreamweaver came out.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
Now everybody can build a website because Dreamweaver came out. The first no-code platform to build a website.
No, front page. Front page.
Front page.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Front
what
page,
I was thinking about. Yeah.
Front page was.
I could see the symbol in my head, but
Microsoft front
but
page.
yeah. Remember when that came out?
Yep.
Holy cow. Web designers went berserk because they were losing work and their work was less valuable. And to your point, Tim, I mean, as we continue to educate this market, because not everybody understands what AI is. There's a lot of people that say, oh, yeah, that's that chat thing online you talk to. That,
oh, yeah, no, it's so annoying.
Kind of.
It's so annoying.
But over the next year or two, as you start to see more and more of this stuff come out, you start to see it in your everyday life.
Yeah.
Like in the grocery store, you know, you think of applications in rural America. Don't worry about metro. Rural America. Once rural America starts to really understand what AI is, game over. Because by that time, the metro markets have been had.
Sure.
But once it filters down to the rural markets and they start to actually have some pretty good concept of what it actually means, yeah. What are you going to do then?
Yeah.
Now what service are you going to sell? So you have to pivot, or you have to play the software game. But even because one thing will always stay true, and that's people. That's why everything in my SaaS is focused on customer service.
Yep.
That's it. That's what it's all about. And creating absolutely insane affiliates. I've got one that's running a workshop. He's an affiliate running a workshop for my white label. You know, we've already got over 300 people registered, and it's not till November 1st. So, and we're running a 3-month special. Get Pinnacle for half off for your first 3 months. Plus a private coaching session with the workshop. Yep.
Again, not Charles.
Yeah. So, I mean, but that's what it takes right now. You know, that's the way to, I could pour money into ads and put fuel on the fire that way. I'll end up with a bunch of people that don't want to use the system. They just want it done for them. That's why I don't run ads. I'm particular about who signs up. They need to want to take action because I sell a CRM. I do not sell service. I don't sell leads. I don't say your business is going to do better. I don't say your closing rate's going to go up or anything like that. You may actually go down in business. I don't know. Whatever you put into the system is what you're going to get out. So that's totally up to you. And you get nobody to blame but yourself. That's it. It's whatever the other CRM. I mean, you think about it, since CRMs have been out the last 30 years, that's never changed. Why all of a sudden are we trying to change what a CRM means?
Yeah.
It's worked for 30 years. I think it'll keep working a while longer. That's my thought.
Good one.
Yeah. So, hey, we haven't heard from Jay. Jay, you there? You lurking?
The Silver Surfer.
Jay's there.
Working in the background here, guys.
Oh,
I do have one thing to add. Earlier, you guys were talking about batch processing tools. Addcreative.ai, you might check out. It's another AI generator, but it's, I don't know, I guess they've kind of narrowed the images it generates to, social media useful social media stuff, ads. I use it for Facebook ads. You might check it out. It's got a batch feature in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's been working pretty well for me.
Really? So what's it do for you? Like, as far as like creating the AI images, how's it?
Yeah. For Facebook ads, you put in like 3 lines of 3 lines like a headline, and 2 sub headlines. And then you hit press play and it generates 20, 30 Facebook images, perfectly formatted and everything. And it, you can then go inside each one and change colors, change fonts, and then hit download. Works pretty well. As far as using it for batch, that's interesting. It has a batch feature in there. I don't know about if it could do like what Charles recommended with the SVG tactic, but
what about adding people in there? I'm just kind of curious.
People into there?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've not seen anything generated with people in there.
Interesting.
It'll do stock photos with people.
Yeah, it could do that. I've noticed when I use Photo P, you guys talked about using Illustrator. Photo P is it's a cloud version of Photoshop created by a Photoshop nut. And he's kind of semi-endorsed by Photoshop. But anyway, I noticed when I took these images and dropped them right into Photoshop, it, boom, had the layers already separated out.
Cool.
Anyway, that's the only thing I had to add to the conversation, gentlemen. I do have one question, though. This is like how to handle this objection. I get this objection from sometimes from pretty knowledgeable people in the market who've seen a ton of CRMs. What they say is, their question is this: I see a lot of companies try and bridge the gap between CRM and marketing platform, and none of them seem to do it very well. Have you heard this before? I heard this from a sales guy who represents several venture capitalists. And he hit me with that.
My first question would be, what do you mean?
Yeah, exactly right.
That'd be
I've heard it from several
question.
people. I've heard that from several people. I've always kind of just ignored it.
Well, to think about it, right? If you think about it, if they're asking that question in that way, they're comparing it to something, right? Or they're thinking about something. But either way, you want to have them put it in their own words, so then you can just keep on doing what you're doing on that sales call.
I get that. I get that. I get the reframing. I get all that. What I'm curious is, what do you guys say?
I will tell you probably where that's stemming from.
Yeah.
And this is a huge problem, even in the high level group, is understanding the difference between marketing and advertising. There is a huge confusion, and the terms are often interchanged incorrectly. So I would, if I got that question, I would not ignore it. I would say, hey, I'm glad you asked that question. Would you mind telling me what you consider a marketing platform?
I want to
step into it. Don't step away from it. Step into it. If you step away from it, you're running away scared, and you're not going to make the sale.
Sure. And I'm trying to remember exactly. Was it CRM and something else? This guy's very knowledgeable about all these bajillion platforms, more than I was, for sure. And so I was it wasn't that I ignored it. I ignored it because I was just kind of puzzled by it, because I was kind of like, these platforms are what they are. And I think these definitions are kind of like, what does that even mean? Some do CRM very well. It doesn't matter. Does the piece of software you have in front of you do what it does well? Regardless of what you call it.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. And that's where you have to ask the question, you have to ask the point, you have to step directly into that and say, what do you consider to be marketing? Because I can't tell you how many times I've heard people call advertising marketing and marketing advertising, and totally change the words incorrectly.
Yeah.
And so if he is talking about marketing as true marketing is, you say, well, actually, let me tell you what we do as far as marketing. Now, marketing is not putting ad dollars, but it doesn't involve money. Okay, basically is what it is. And so what we do is we offer you the ability for email marketing, where you can send out your email campaigns that could be personalized. We can do bulk text marketing. We can do bulk voicemail marketing, where that's where you get the ringless voicemail drop. Have you ever had a voicemail on your phone and wondered how the heck it got there because you never heard your phone ring? That's ringless voicemail. We have that capability. The other thing we also have to have in store for marketing is our social media planner. Now, what's unique about our social media planner is not only do we have a library that's full of pre-built templates, if you just want 20 to 25 quick posts that you can just click a couple buttons and have in there, but we also have an integrated content AI and image AI within our platform, so you never have to leave. You can also customize your captions per social network, and you can even write the first response. And since we know you're a local business, local traffic's important, what better way to get people to your event than using the call to action button on your Google My Business post, which our platform supports as well. Now, would you like to hear about other options that we have as far as marketing? Yeah. God, that's exactly what I was talking about. You guys do all that and there's still more? Well, certainly. You have to step into it. If you don't, you won't get it.
I hear you. And I did all that, but what I mean is specifically, this was a very interesting. I'm failing here in describing this guy's question because I'm failing. He didn't say CRMs and marketing or marketing platforms. It was more like CRMs. He talked a lot about all the email stuff, pipe drive.
Yeah. What's the difference between you and them?
Well, no, it wasn't that question. It wasn't even still to the go high level. It was more like this very funny question of trying to do CRM and this, and they don't do either of them very well. And it's like the third time I've heard that.
Yeah. Salesforce is a perfect example of that. I mean, they've been
Salesforce is part of this conversation. Yes, for sure.
Zoho's the same way. They have a bunch of freaking tools that some of them work okay, some of them don't work hardly at all. But it's a marketplace.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it has always been that way, will always be that way.
I kind of wonder if this dovetails with the AI conversation, because one of the things about it is that it is changing the nature of the medium itself, such that the definitions are going to be very strange, right? Like if this thing we were talking about earlier about, if the artist who has the eye for art can use the AI tool to create something faster and it's still their vision, are you going to say, oh, that's AI generated? I kind of wonder. The other thing about that conversation is, Dan Kennedy has this great phrase. He says, don't underestimate what is common knowledge to you in your industry is exceedingly rare knowledge to everybody else. Mm-hmm. And I do think, even though people are hearing the word AI and chat GPT, and I do hear it in media, so it is being acknowledged, I don't know if the common guy has the eye to recognize an AI generated.
It doesn't.
They don't. Yeah. Like I think a lot of that is us in our echo chamber.
Us inside of our communities.
Exactly.
It's just us. People don't. People have no idea. People don't know, and I'm not saying that it's because I know someone was saying that earlier, that they'll just kind of get like banner blindness basically because everyone looks the same. But again, I think it really is more along the lines of, for people like us, because we're actually looking at these things on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. To somebody who is, like, hey, I need a new website. Like the only time they're going to start going around looking at websites is when they're thinking about creating their own, and maybe they're thinking about ideas, So, I mean, again, not to minimize or, say anything against that, but I think most people are just kind of inside their own worlds. And we just happen to be the people who are more aware of the AI than the average people who aren't. Just like they, whatever it is that they do in their everyday life or their job or whatever they call work or whatever they're passionate about, they're going to be more knowledgeable about things that we're not knowledgeable about. So it goes both ways.
I will say, Tim, I think I agree with you in one aspect. I do think just like style does, it becomes like a fad. I wonder if, because of AI, but also just because of prevalence of media in general, where he's been hit with so many decisions to make, and that includes, do I like this? Do I like this? I wonder if all this stuff is going to happen faster. Like, this is going to be hot and it's going to be here for like a month and a half. And then the next thing is going to be a month. It's these cascade preferences that happen so quickly because of exposure.
Yeah, trend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing I'll say, then I got to jump off to make a sale. But so, by the way, my win for the week is I am now part owner of a VA company. So,
there you go.
But
obviously, I need to start talking to you, or we all need to, in regards to VAs. Is that the case?
No, I bought into it so I have exclusivity.
Oh, okay.
That's why. So they can get out of the HighLevel market altogether. So,
Sweet.
and only deal with my HighLevel.
Smart.
So, but I will say this, when it comes to, no matter what the objection is, because I sell a CRM, I don't frill it as anything else. So I put myself right up against all the competitors. And I love that conversation. I love it when people ask me, what makes you different than all these other CRMs? There's thousands of them out there, and there's a lot of big boys that have a lot more reviews and better reputation and everything else than what you've been able to prove so far in your short journey. So I'm glad you asked. Let me ask you this. Where do you get your car serviced? Well, I get it at my local dealership. Why? I said, it's not because of the price. It's not because they get it done faster than anybody else. It's because you're treated with respect and you get the care that you deserve. Yeah, I guess that's true. Never really thought about it. Do you know the person that when you walk into that dealership and you hand them your keys, do you know that person's name? Yeah. That's because we're about people. We're the same way here. Let me tell you how we're different. We started this company to help people, to change the market. We do that by offering one-on-one live onboardings with every single client. Doesn't matter how big your team is, everybody in that team is invited to the onboarding calls. You get 2 of those calls. Plus you have live 24/7 chat and Zoom support. Anytime you need, right there with you. If you need a Zoom call 3 times a week, you can ask them for a Zoom call 3 times a week. Whatever your needs are, we're there. Plus, we give you an academy. And then plus, we give you the knowledge base. Plus, we give you the Slack channel where you can actually communicate with other people and businesses that are using the same platform you're using. Plus, we invite you to a networking group where 98% of the people there are all Pinnacle users, but it's an independent business group. And by the way, we're also affiliated with 2 other networking groups. Oh, and we're launching our own VA services. That's how we're different than any other CRM out there. They will not do that. They'll say, here's chat support and here's email support. Good luck.
Charles, did I just hear you say you're going to be providing VA support to your users, meaning that if they need someone for 10, 15 hours a week to do some work?
Correct. We'll be selling 10, 20, 30, 40 hour packages. So for my entrepreneurs that don't need a whole lot, but maybe they have an event coming up and they just need a landing page with a, sign up form, a simple automation, and a couple reminder emails built. Okay. They don't have the bandwidth for it because they're not doing this full time. They're still working their day job and trying to start an entrepreneurial journey. So they can buy for less than $100 a month. They can get 10 hours. That's probably all they need, honestly.
Smart.
Yep. So it's a way for me to, and it's not going to be a white label. It's going to be this VA company. I just happen to own part of it.
Nice.
So, and then we have an exclusivity agreement. And I was, there was some requirements. They're all going, their whole team, they just got their own Pinnacle account. They're all going through training over the next 4 to 6 weeks. They'll all be getting trained on HighLevel. to get up to par. And then we'll do a soft launch with a few of my clients, and then we'll put it full launch to all our clients. So, yep.
All right.
Scalability.
Nice. Well, I think with that, we'll call it a lid. And yeah, we got people dropping off. So we will see you guys next week.
Enjoyed it.
Heck of a session this evening. Good stuff.
Very good.
All right.
See you well, everybody.
Chat you guys
I'm
later.
just sad I missed all the video and audio talk.
Well, you can watch the
The
replay.
replay.
I'll upload it here to the YouTube channel pretty quick.
Bye.
You guys take care.
All right, later on.